Reality is of the one nature, but contrasts within each mood produce schizoid understanding. Now you might be surprised to see the word schizoid here, but this is my translation of the word vibhaktah, which means divided, partitioned, different, and so on. Patanjali is once again referring back to Sutra 2 of this book, where he's talking about the great flow of life and the possibility of liberation. The possibility of liberation is the realization of the one nature of everything. That one nature is the nature of awareness. But there's this flow of moods, this procession of moods, and our sense of reality depends on our mood. I won't bother with examples, I'm sure you can think of some yourself. When people have got a certain opinion about the nature of the world, they're expressing a mood. They might think that life is wonderful, or life is hell, or life is one of economic exploitation, or life is one of the divine plan unfolding, or life is one of secret cabals, perhaps of interdimensional lizards secretly ruling the planet. Life is dog eat dog, and so on, and so on. So which is it? Well, you take your pick. But if you're interested in this transition to another dimension, to the dimension of pure awareness, then you need to drop all that. Because as Sutra 16 says, and reality cannot be dependent on a particular state of mind or mood, otherwise it would be unknowable. The mind has a limitless variety of states. Traditionally it's understood if you can get the mind into a particular state, then this is enlightenment. But reality is not dependent on a particular mental state. In fact, reality is not dependent on the mind at all. Realization is not dependent on the mind at all. Awareness is not dependent on the mind at all. Awareness is filtered through the mind. And this is what colours our understanding of the world. So it's like having a light and a coloured filter, and saying that one of these filters is somehow the real light. So we're not interested in any of these filters. Even a clear filter is still a filter. We're still focusing on the filter rather than on what's being filtered. So if reality was dependent on a filter, if that's our understanding, then it would be unknowable. We cannot know it. There is a reality that can be known or not known through the filtered expectations of the mind. And this is what the mind tells us. The mind has expectations, and these expectations are limitations. The curious thing is, people that regard themselves as down-to-earth, pragmatic, realistic people, who go along with a common sense, possibly scientific understanding of things, and who might consider themselves to have some idea of reality, are actually subscribing to the understanding that reality cannot be known, because this is what science tells us. Science tells us that all we've got is a model of reality. The senses give us a model of reality. And we have no idea of knowing how good that model is. I suppose the fact that we've survived up to this point in our lives indicates that we must be doing something right. But this is a scientific story, that all we've got is a model, and that reality cannot be directly known. This is the common understanding. And what the effect of this is it cuts us off from the possibility of making that transition to another dimension, to the dimension of awareness. Because in that dimension, awareness is directly known. In fact, awareness is the knowing. So the mind and its expectations and its filters is this great flow of life. And there's nothing within that which can point us to reality. There are moments that reality presents itself to us. We are like the prodigal children, and the Father is there waiting for us to return. We have this opportunity many times a day to step in to this dimension of liberation, this dimension of pure awareness.